whenever you're ready.
Shortly after midnight, on April 15th, 1912, the ocean liner Carpathia received a distress signal. James Bissett, the second mate on the Carpathia, rushed to tell Captain Rostron the terrible news.
Captain, we've just received an SOS signal. It's from the Titanic.
What exactly does the message say?
It said they struck an iceberg and that the ship is badly damaged. The Titanic is sinking, Captain. They need our help.
What's the location?
The latitude is 41 degrees north. The longitude is 50 degrees west.
That's almost 58 miles away. The old ship can't go faster than 16 knots per hour. It'll almost take us 5 hours to get there.
The Titanic will surely be gone by then.
Then don't waste any time. Get the whole crew on deck and push the engines to full speed.
Meanwhile, on the Titanic, passengers were gathering on deck to receive instructions from the captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't be alarmed. Panic will only make things worse. Kindly put on your safety vests and prepare to board the lifeboat. Women and children will go first. After that, men will disembark.
The Titanic can't possibly sink. After all, she was built to be the unsinkable, and this is her maiden voyage. Whoever heard of a ship sinking on its first time out? I'll just stay here.
Please try to cooperate, Mrs. Robertson.
But I don't know the first thing about handling a lifeboat.
A member of our crew will be on each lifeboat. Harold Bride, our telegraph operator, will be on yours. You're in good hands.
Here, let me help you get into the lifeboat. I'll hold your hand while you step onto the rope ladder.
I don't like this one bit, but I'll cooperate, as I say.
Mrs. Rogerson boarded the lifeboat with Harold Bride and 6 other passengers. Most of the lifeboats were only half full, as many people refused to accept the gravity of their situation. Then, at about 2:30 in the morning, there was a long groaning sound as the Titanic began to tilt and sink into the ocean. With hundreds of passengers still aboard, panic broke out on the ship.
Every man for himself!
What's that? What's going on?
The unbelievable has happened. The Titanic is sinking.
Oh my word! The ship is tilting straight out of the water. I wouldn't believe if I weren't seeing with my own eyes. Thank goodness Captain Smith persuaded me to board the lifeboat.
The lights just went out. The power on board must have been cut. Now I can't see a thing. It's so quiet. It's too quiet.
Oh, those poor foolish people. And to think that I might have still been on board along with the rest of them? Perhaps they'll be able to swim over to the lifeboats. Surely there is room for more people.
I don't see how they can last more than a minute or 2 in this water. It's freezing cold.
I can barely stand the cold myself. When will help come? How long will we have to wait out here in the freezing cold? My hands have grown numb and my face is freezing.
Rub your hands together and blow on them. Let's sit back to back and hold this blanket around our shoulders to keep warm. Help is on the way. I'm sure of that because I sent the SOS signal myself.
The lifeboat passengers shivered for several hours as they waited. When sun rose, the Titanic was nowhere to be seen. In its place was the Carpathia.
Ready at the bow. Here comes the first lifeboat.
Oh, thank goodness you've arrived. I wasn't sure how much longer I could take the cold. Oh, my hands. I can't feel my hands at all.
Right this way, man. The ship's doctor is ready to help. We've got hot cocoa and warm blankets waiting for you in the hold. James, I'll bring it over to the first aid area. And meet Jude. She's a bit unsteady. They keep on coming. Report back to someone else. Here's another one. Who are you?
My name's Bride. Harold Bride.
You're the one who sent the SOS signal. If it weren't for you, the disaster would have been even worse. Come aboard.
I don't think I can walk. My feet are frozen.
Don't worry. The medical crew is ready to treat you for frostbite. Here, let me help you. Easy does it.
Later that day, Captain Rostron held a service for the victims of the Titanic disaster on the very spot where they had gone down with the ship. Then, the Carpathia made its way to New York City. When the ship docked, thousands of people were anxiously waiting at the pier. The Titanic disaster was front-page news around the world. A reporter interviewed the crew and passengers as they disembarked.
Captain, how in the world did something like this happen?
There's a whole series of mistakes. The Titanic was warned about the icebergs, but Captain Smith ignored the warnings. To top it off, the crew of the Titanic wasn't prepared to deal with the emergency.
You agree with that, man?
I don't think anybody realized what was happening until it was too late. Maybe Captain Smith knew that the ship was going to sink, but he was very calm about it. I think he didn't want to frighten the passengers.
Did you see the ship sinking?
Yes, it tilted straight out of the water at a steep angle, and then it just started to sink. Some say that the ship actually snapped in half, but it's hard to say what happened. It was so dark.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, I heard you're the one who sent the SOS signal.
That I am.
Mr. Bride, did you know this is the very first instance of a ship sending an SOS signal in a Morse code?
Unfortunately, many things happened last night that have never happened before. If we learn some important lessons from this disaster, perhaps such a tragedy will never happen again.
The sinking of the Titanic was a horrible disaster. Of the 2,224 people on board, there were only 705 survivors. Because of this catastrophe, many safety regulations are now in place to make sure an incident like this never happens again.
Take a picture.
Nice job. Thank you. Way to start us